Yemenis nationwide commemorate 17 July 1978 as Day of Democracy. United Nations says recovering oil from decaying Safer tanker is set to start. Nassam, the mining project dismantles 400,000 mines and unexploded ordnance in Yemen for the past period. Welcome to Yemen Today TV. This is the English News with me, Shaza Abdelbey. Yemenis nationwide commemorate today, the 17th of July 1978, as the day which witnessed the launch of the democratic era in North Yemen by the electing the late iconic leader Ali Abdullah Saleh. This report has more details.
This democratic scene has not been witnessed in Yemen except during the time of the late President Ali Abdullah Saleh. The most prominent goals of the revolution of September 1962 against the Imamate regime was the establishment of a just democratic society. But the goal was not achieved for 15 years until Ali Abdullah Saleh assumed the position as President of the Arab Republic of Yemen on the 17th of July 1978. With the achievement of the national unity between the two parties of the country in 1990, the most prominent democratic transformation in the history of Yemen was through the adoption of unity constitution. The parliamentary elections were held in 3 sessions, and the local council and presidential elections were held in 2 sessions. Late President Ali Abdullah Saleh won the presidential chair in 1999 session and repeated the win in 2006. The loss of the opposition parties in the presidential elections in front of the overwhelming popularity of the late leader Ali Abdullah Saleh made them deviate from the democratic approach by riding the wave of chaos in 2011. However, the late President Ali Abdullah Saleh stressed the need to stop bloodshedding through the implementation of the Gulf Initiative. The initiative included the transfer of power from President Saleh to his deputy. The Houthi coup, however, took place, and Saleh remained steadfast despite the campaigns that were staged against him. Late leader Saleh called people against the Houthi militia on the 2nd of December 2017 and remained loyal to his country through the commandments he issued in the defense of unity, republic, revolution, democracy, and freedom.
The United Nations announced that the ship Nautica arrived off the coast of Yemen in preparation to start offloading oil from Safer tanker. Experts have warned of the risky operation, yet the UN teams are determined to do the mission. This report has more details.
The transfer of petroleum from a decaying vessel of Yemen is expected to start this week in an operation to prevent the damaging Red Sea spill. The 47-year-old Safer has been left at Ras Isa port in rebel-controlled Hodeidah city since the escalation of Yemen's civil war in 2015. The floating storage and offloading facility owned by the Yemeni state Safer Exploration and Production Operation holds about 1.14 million barrels of light crude. The United Nations stated that once the replacement vessel arrives, the oil aboard the Safer will be pumped out in a ship-to-ship transfer that is expected to take about 2 weeks to complete. The UN Development Programme Administrator stated that removing the threat the Safer poses will be a huge achievement for many people who have worked tirelessly on this complex and difficult project over months and years to bring us to this point. We will not rest until the threat is gone, and today we are close to beginning the operation. The UN said leakage from the Safer would result in an environmental and humanitarian catastrophe. In the event of a spill, the UN has warned costs could skyrocket to $20 billion for cleanup. Failure would also mean 25 years for fish stocks to recover and could result in the closure of nearby ports essential for the transfer of food, fuel, and life-saving supplies. Vital shipping through Bab el-Mandeb Strait to the Suez Canal could be disrupted for an extended period, costing billions of dollars per day. Also, tourism around the Red Sea would suffer besides damage to mangroves. UN Coordinator for Yemen David Grassley said completion of the transfer is expected to take 2 weeks, and the worst humanitarian, environmental and economic catastrophe from a massive oil spill will have been prevented. But it will not be the end of the operation. The next critical step after the oil transfer will include the delivery and installment of a catenary anchor leg mooring to which the replacement vessel will safely be installed, which needs to be in place by September at the latest as currents and winds become more dangerous in October. According to the UN, the internationally recognized Yemeni government has pledged $5 million in support in addition to $95 million committed by donors, including $12 million from the private sector.
The Human Rights Office in Taiz organized a public hearing session for victims of Houthi siege on the city. The session reviewed a number of violations and crimes committed against civilians. Dozens of victims also revealed that they were subjected to violations in alternative ways, especially kidney failure and cancer patients.
We mark 3,000 days of Houthi siege on the city of Taiz. The suffering is still continuing. The session is for documenting the Houthi crimes in Taiz that run in contradiction with all norms of the international community. The humanitarian situation is terrible.
Activists in Taiz organized a photo exhibition of the Houthi militia's crimes against civilians in the governorate. The exhibition was held in an attempt to show part of the impact of the Houthi siege on the city since 2015. One man was killed north of Al-Dala due to Houthi shelling on populated areas. A local source confirmed that the militia targeted villages with mortar shells and other medium weapons in the past hours, which led to the killing of one citizen and damage of houses and properties. In Hodeidah, one civilian was injured in Houthi shelling on populated areas south of the city. Local sources reported that the Houthi militia targeted Taiz with mortar shells, injured a man with separate shrapnel. According to the sources, the injured person was near his house when one of the shells landed next to him, causing panic and fear among the people, especially women and children. Also in Hodeidah, a delegation from the United Nations mission to support the Hodeidah Agreement visited the Hais district. UNMAHA delegation visited 5 children who were injured as a result of Houthi shelling that targeted them while they were grazing sheep. Local people briefed the mission delegation on their daily suffering due to Houthi constant targeting of their area.
We in the government team are denouncing the Houthi targeting of civilians, especially the children. It is prohibited internationally to target children, but the Houthi militia are targeting the Yemeni people and children in a continuous manner. The United Nations mission did not make any progress. We call to liberate the government of Hodeidah from the Houthi militia, and we confirm that only the arms that will restore back Hodeidah. We hope that the UNMAHA will convey the accident. It isn't the first accident that took place by the Houthi militia. We are here with the United Nations fact-finding mission, and we hope that the mission will reflect the facts without the suspicious silence of the past towards the Houthi crimes that violate all norms. We are under fire day and night. The Houthis target our places from the highland there. They are threatening people, children, and even the sheep grazing community. We cannot move anywhere. Even the aid organizations cannot reach our places.
Mahda tribes in Sada accused the Houthi militia of robbing lands of citizens. Local sources said the Houthi militia refused to hand over lands to citizens in one district in the city, which the group had turned into a place for its sectarian events. Massam Project announced that the field teams have cleared since the launch of the project until July more than 400,000 mines, unexploded ordnance, and explosive devices. This report has more details.
In March of this year, Saudi Arabia and Iran inked a historic normalization agreement negotiated by China, fueling hopes that the Houthis, who have long been equipped and sponsored by Tehran, would collaborate with demining efforts. Despite the fact that the Houthis are a party to the Stockholm Agreement, which mandates them to pass over information regarding what explosives have been put, as well as comprehensive maps showing where they are located, progress has been slow. In an interview with Arab News, Osama Al-Qusaybi, managing director of Massam, the Saudi project for landmine clearance, has said that the negotiations have had little positive impact on clearance operations. Because of the shifting of the front line during the conflict, sites seized by the Yemeni government and cleared by Al-Qusaybi's teams have subsequently been retaken and remined by Houthi troops. According to Al-Qusaybi, some liberated regions have had to be demined a third time due to the Houthis scattering new explosives with advanced technology in previously cleared areas.
We have cleared over 400,000 items. Now that includes mines, both anti-personnel and anti-tank. That includes a huge number of UXOs, unexploded ordnance, and an even huger number of improvised explosive devices. I will stop at improvised explosive devices. When you talk about Project Massam have cleared to date over 7,800 improvised devices, such as rock mines in Yemen. This number did not exist anywhere else in the world.
Due to the existence of several mine action organizations operating in various regions of Yemen, there is no centralized victim database. However, Al-Qusaybi estimates that landmines have injured and killed thousands of people in Yemen throughout the course of the conflict. The UN has stated last week that mines are directly responsible for more than half of all incidents involving children in Yemen.
Coming next in the news. Governor of Hadramaut opens the annual town festival amid huge presence of visitors from across the country. Welcome back. 8 years of conflict compounded by economic collapse have taken a toll on women and girls. The collapse of the healthcare system led to cutting their access to life-saving health services. This report has more details.
Yemeni women endure a harrowing reality, especially in terms of the right to personal safety and health care during pregnancy and delivery. Yemen already had one of the world's highest maternal death rates before the war began. Now, over 8 years into the war, the world's worst humanitarian crisis, the suffering of pregnant women and new mothers has only become worse. In addition to the enormous physical and psychological pain that such an event is bound to bring, women go through major bodily changes and psychological difficulties, as well as fear for their personal safety and the protection of their children. According to UNICEF, 800 women die every day as a result of pregnancy complications. 7,000 newborns die daily, and 7,000 infants die during their first month of life. While the statistics are frightening, it is even more distressing that women must face such circumstances within a war zone. A dangerous atmosphere with inadequate health care, hygiene, and personal safety requirements. Yemen's national health system has been ravaged by the conflict, with facilities and equipment damaged and health personnel remaining underpaid. Yemen has one of the region's worst maternal mortality rates, with less than half of births attended by qualified medical staff and just 1 in every 5 health institutions still offering maternity and child health care. In 2022, the UN Population Fund estimated that approximately $100 million would be needed to continue delivering life-saving reproductive health treatments to 1.3 million Yemeni women, but only 1/3 of that sum has been received. As a result, death will continue to be the norm for pregnant women, new mothers, and children in Yemen, despite the fact that the vast majority of these deaths are preventable if access to health care services is made available.
The governor of Hadramaut in Yemen inaugurated the activities of the town's Tourism Festival 2023 amid the presence of thousands of people from across the country. This report has more details.
The city of Mukalla is now turning into a tourist and recreational destination for physiotherapy during this season as the seawater cools during its days, in a unique astronomical phenomenon that residents and expatriates take advantage of for recreation in the cold seawater. The prevailing belief says that it has many health and healing benefits.
These days are the beginning of the town season. People come from all Yemeni governorates to enjoy the great weather and the seawater. It helps them to relax and heal. We came here today to enjoy the good weather and to swim in the seawater. We come here every year in July with our families and children. The seawater heals a lot of skin diseases and knee problems.
In conjunction with the start of the season this year and amidst official interest in the city of Mukalla and the number of coastal cities of Hadramaut, popular festivals accompanying the season were launched, which make it a tourist, recreational, and cultural demonstration organized by the local authority and the competent authorities in Hadramaut, as carnivals are scattered with marine shows, artistic concerts, and dances, as well as the establishment of exhibitions of handicrafts and traditional industries in order to achieve more tourist attractions and revive the commercial and economic movement in the city of Mukalla.
The plan made by the Coast Guard is willing to aware and instruct the people on how to stay safe and healthy on the beach. There are also some divers and security guards who are trained to prevent any unexpected incidents.
Coast Guard patrols and evacuation and rescue teams register their presence around the clock and along the coast of the city, ready to intervene in emergency cases. They also follow up and guide seagoers with safety procedures. This is how the coasts of the city of Mukalla are crowded, with thousands of residents and visitors who come from inside and outside the country to enjoy the charming atmosphere of the city and practice swimming in the pure seawater for hospitalization and picnics.
Here's a reminder of the main headlines. Yemenis nationwide commemorate 17 July 1978 as Day of Democracy. United Nations says recovering oil from decaying Safer tanker is set to start. Masamda mining project dismantles 400,000 mines and unexploded ordnance in Yemen for the past period. This is the end of the news. Thank you for watching.